She lives behind palace walls lined with gold, but her silence echoes louder than any speech. Once a singer adored by millions, now the mysterious wife of one of the world's most feared leaders, Ri Solju's life is a paradox of power and captivity. But stay until the end, because we'll reveal the secret event that proved how one insult against her almost triggered a political explosion across two nations. The mystery of Ri Solju. She was once a singer whose voice filled stadiums, now a woman whose silence commands a nation. Ri Solju, North Korea's secretive first lady, lives in a world where every gesture, every glance is scripted for power. Born in the 1980s and raised in Pyongyang, she is rumored to come from an elite military lineage, possibly tied to the Korean People's Army Air Force, a background that may have quietly prepared her for the most controlled role on Earth. From a young age, Ri Solju stood out not just for her beauty, but for her confidence, a rare trait in a society built on obedience. Her talent in music earned her a place in the Anhasu Orchestra, an exclusive ensemble funded directly by the regime and reserved for the nation's most gifted performers. It wasn't merely an orchestra, it was a recruitment pool where art and politics intertwined, where talent could open doors to privilege or danger. In 2005, during the Asian Athletics Championships in South Korea, Ri Solju stepped into the international spotlight. Dressed in modest elegance, she sang songs of unity and national pride, captivating audiences across borders. For a brief moment, her voice represented something almost impossible in the North Korean narrative: cultural grace without political aggression. But just as her fame began to grow, she vanished from public view. No tours, no concerts, no interviews, nothing. For years, her name disappeared as if erased from history itself. Then, in 2012, she suddenly reappeared at the side of Kim Jong-un, newly minted as the supreme leader of North Korea. State media introduced her as the respected First Lady of the DPRK. The world was stunned, not just by the revelation that Kim had a wife, but by how polished, confident, and perfectly staged her debut seemed. It wasn't a coincidence. Ri Solju had been transformed from artist to symbol, from voice to silence. Her transition marked the birth of a carefully designed political persona, the smiling face of the world's most secretive regime. Analysts believe this metamorphosis was no accident. It was a strategic move orchestrated by the North Korean leadership to soften Kim's image at home and abroad. Ri Solju's charm became a diplomatic weapon. Her poised presence meant to humanize power and suggest stability in a system built on fear. Yet behind that flawless smile lies a question: did she choose this life, or was she chosen for it? Every appearance since has followed the same pattern, perfectly timed, perfectly choreographed. And every disappearance fuels new speculation. Is she ill, punished, or simply being recast in the regime's next act? Because in North Korea, vanishing and returning are part of the performance. And Ri Solju's story, her transformation from singer to silent first lady, may be the regime's most elaborate act of all. To tell me, when a woman's voice once moved millions, what does it mean when that voice is silenced by power itself? The Gilded Cage, inside the Ryongsong Residence. Hidden beyond Pyongyang's grey skyline lies one of the most secretive residences in the world, the Ryongsong Residence, a palace so fortified that it's often compared to a royal bunker. Valued at over $1 billion, it serves not just as Kim Jong-un and Ri Solju's home, but as the physical embodiment of North Korea's obsession with power, security, and spectacle. From the outside, the compound is surrounded by tall concrete walls, anti-aircraft systems, and armed guards. But beyond the gates, it reveals an opulence few could ever imagine. Inside, gold-plated ceilings shimmer under Austrian chandeliers, while Italian Carrara marble stretches from floor to staircase. The palace is divided into wings, one for the supreme leader, one for the first lady, and another for visiting officials or foreign diplomats who are granted rare access. Every inch of the interior is a statement of excess. Persian rugs worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, crystal vases from Prague, and hand-carved mahogany furniture imported through secret trade channels. The dining hall alone could seat over 50 guests, yet it's said that Ri Solju rarely hosts anyone outside the family. Beneath the luxury, however, lies the regime's true priority: survival. The palace is rumored to have radiation-proof tunnels connecting it to underground command centers, nuclear blast bunkers, and escape routes leading several miles outside Pyongyang. These tunnels, built decades ago and constantly upgraded, can reportedly withstand direct bomb strikes. It's a kingdom beneath a kingdom, ensuring the ruling family's safety no matter what happens above ground. Ri Solju's personal quarters reflect her curated image of refinement. Her walk-in wardrobe, lined with imported European fabrics, reportedly houses millions of dollars worth of designer outfits, from Dior gowns to Chanel suits, many of which she wears during public appearances to subtly project modernity. Her dressing room includes an automated humidity system to preserve delicate textiles, and her vanity table is filled with luxury cosmetics imported from France and Switzerland. Even her jewelry, discreet yet unmistakably expensive, includes custom diamond sets valued at more than $500,000. But for all the grandeur, Ri Solju's world remains one of surveillance and isolation. Communication with the outside world is forbidden. Even her relatives are kept under state watch to prevent leaks or dissent. Her daily schedule, what she wears, where she walks, when she smiles, is dictated by the propaganda and agitation department, ensuring that every image broadcast to the world fits the narrative of stability and grace. Occasionally, she's allowed brief escapes to a coastal villa near Wonsan, a property lined with palm trees and private beaches patrolled by soldiers, or to a private resort on an artificial island equipped with a yacht dock and helipad. Yet even there, her freedom is an illusion, surrounded by guards, cameras, and political handlers. For Ri Solju, the Ryongsong Residence is more than a home. It's a gilded cage, a paradox of luxury and confinement. Every wall gleams with wealth, but every door locks from the outside. And inside this billion-dollar fortress, even the most powerful woman in North Korea lives not as a queen, but as a carefully protected secret. Fashion, symbolism, and propaganda. In a nation where every word is censored and every image is curated, Ri Solju's wardrobe has become her most powerful form of communication. Her closet, reportedly worth over $2 million, is more than a collection of garments. It's a carefully constructed language of luxury, diplomacy, and propaganda. Every outfit she wears is chosen with precision, designed not to express her individuality, but to reflect the image of North Korea that the regime wants the world to see. Her ensembles are said to include custom-made designs from Christian Dior, Chanel, and exclusive Swiss ateliers smuggled into Pyongyang through diplomatic channels disguised as official gifts. These aren't ordinary purchases, they are political statements wrapped in silk and pearls. Each appearance is an operation, where even fabric choice becomes a form of messaging. When she visits schools or hospitals, she's seen in soft pastels, mint, ivory, and light blue, colors meant to symbolize compassion and optimism. At military parades or somber state ceremonies, she shifts to darker hues, navy, charcoal, black, mirroring the gravity of the occasion and her alignment with the nation's shared sacrifice. Her accessories, too, are symbols of silent power. The Patek Philippe watch she wears, worth $100,000, is not simply a timepiece but a statement of precision and legacy. Her Hermes handbags, often spotted during major political appearances, signal quiet wealth and influence. In a country where citizens rarely see imported goods, these luxury pieces serve a dual purpose: to showcase the regime's control over global channels of wealth and to subtly project an image of sophistication to foreign audiences. But fashion, in Ri Solju's case, is not vanity. It's strategy. Her transformation into what analysts call North Korea's style ambassador was deliberate. The regime needed a softer face for Kim Jong-un, and Ri Solju became the perfect instrument. Her tailored suits and confident smiles project modernity. Her graceful demeanor humanizes the dictator beside her. Through her, the regime crafts an illusion of elegance, stability, and cultural refinement, a striking contrast to the harsh realities of daily life for millions of North Koreans. Behind the scenes, however, every gesture is rehearsed, every movement approved. Her public appearances are choreographed like state performances. When she smiles, it's a symbol of national pride. When she waves, it's a gesture of controlled affection. Even the way she stands beside Kim, slightly behind, never overshadowing, enforces the image of loyalty and harmony. Her silence is as calculated as her attire, and perhaps more powerful. Experts believe this image building serves both domestic and international purposes. For North Korean citizens, Ri Solju represents the ideal woman. Elegant yet obedient, educated yet humble. For the outside world, she embodies a rebranding effort, transforming a regime often seen as isolated and militant into one that appears refined and culturally aware. In the theater of North Korean politics, Ri Solju doesn't need a microphone. Her stage is the red carpet of Pyongyang, her script written in silk and diamonds. Every outfit tells a story, and every story, no matter how glamorous, hides a deeper message of control, image, and illusion. Between power and obedience, life under surveillance. Behind the golden gates and glittering chandeliers, Ri Solju's life unfolds under constant surveillance, a paradox of luxury and obedience. Despite her privileged position, her world is governed by a web of invisible control that dictates her every step. Even the smallest decisions, what she wears, where she walks, or whom she greets, require clearance from either Kim Jong-un himself or the State Security Department. In a regime built on paranoia, trust is a privilege no one fully possesses, not even the First Lady. Her personal life operates with military precision. Over 30 attendants serve her daily, a team that includes bodyguards, stylists, nutritionists, and political aides, tasked not only with maintaining her image, but also with monitoring her behavior. Every conversation, every smile, is quietly documented. Former insiders suggest that Ri Solju is never truly alone. Every moment of solitude is an illusion, carefully staged to reinforce loyalty and prevent any whisper of dissent. Her family, once ordinary citizens from Pyongyang's elite circle, now lives in protective confinement, a euphemism for gilded isolation. Visits or contact beyond the approved inner circle are forbidden. Even letters or phone calls are filtered through the state. To protect the regime's image and perhaps to protect Kim Jong-un from potential betrayal, her relatives' lives are curated as tightly as hers, ensuring that every connection remains politically convenient. In public, Ri Solju's appearances are performances of harmony and devotion. Her walks beside Kim are orchestrated down to the millimeter, symbolizing unity and order. But insiders claim that these appearances serve a second purpose: loyalty verification. Each smile, each glance toward the supreme leader is analyzed by political handlers for signs of hesitation or emotional deviation. It's not just propaganda, it's surveillance disguised as affection. Behind closed doors, her responsibilities extend beyond fashion and formality. She is said to oversee the upbringing of Kim Ju, her daughter, who has begun to appear at public events, a rare move in a patriarchal dynasty. Tutors, etiquette instructors, and security staff surround the child at all times. Reports suggest that Kim Ju is being quietly groomed to inherit influence, possibly becoming the dynasty's first female successor. The process is slow, deliberate, and deeply symbolic, a reminder that in the Kim household, power is a family tradition. Even within her gilded prison, Ri Solju's role is far from passive. She embodies both discipline and danger, a woman whose elegance conceals the psychological weight of absolute control. Her world is one where perfection is mandatory, privacy is non-existent, and even love must serve the state. And while the palace around her gleams with billion-dollar opulence, her life remains defined not by what she owns, but by what she's forbidden to choose. The family of shadows. In the world of North Korea's elite, power doesn't just move through missiles and armies, it moves through whispers, symbols, and the women closest to the throne. Ri Solju, the country's elegant first lady, represents the face of refinement and civility, but behind her, standing in the shadowed corridors of authority, is Kim Yo-jong, the sister of Kim Jong-un and arguably the second most powerful person in the regime. Their relationship, though hidden behind choreographed smiles, is one of subtle rivalry and strategic coexistence. Ri Solju is the regime's masterpiece of image, a vision of grace who softens North Korea's harsh exterior. Kim Yo-jong, however, is its iron will, cold, calculating, and utterly fearless in wielding power. Together, they embody two halves of the same system, one to charm, the other to command. This contrast came into full view during one of the most shocking events in recent North Korean history, the destruction of the Inter-Korean Liaison Office in Kaesong in 2020. The catalyst? A set of propaganda balloons sent from South Korea carrying leaflets that defaced Ri Solju's image. Within hours, Kim Yo-jong reportedly demanded retribution. The building was obliterated with over $8 million worth of explosives, reducing it to ash. The message was unmistakable. An insult to Ri Solju is an insult to the regime itself, but it also served another purpose. It showcased Yo-jong's dominance. Analysts believe the attack was less about revenge and more about reminding the world, and perhaps Ri Solju herself, of who truly controls the narrative. While Ri Solju shines under the camera's flash, Yo-jong moves behind closed doors, controlling propaganda, diplomacy, and even aspects of military coordination. Her name appears on high-level directives. Her tone, when she addresses foreign leaders, carries a precision that rivals her brother's. She is the architect of fear, cloaked in formality. A reminder that in Pyongyang, silence doesn't mean submission, it often means surveillance. Insiders describe the palace hierarchy as a carefully balanced triangle. Kim Jong-un at the apex, his wife and sister occupying opposite sides. Ri Solju, though beloved by the public, remains ornamental, protected but replaceable. Kim Yo-jong, in contrast, is indispensable. She commands loyalty through intimidation and intellect, operating with the same ruthlessness their father once did. Yet, even Yo-jong's power has its limits. In a kingdom built on secrecy, every favor can turn into a threat, every ally into a liability. As Ri Solju continues to represent the regime's beauty and Yo-jong its bite, the tension between them is more than personal. It's a reflection of the delicate balance keeping North Korea's royal dynasty from imploding. The Kim family's billionaire lifestyle. While most of North Korea lives under darkness and deprivation, the ruling Kim family moves through a world of billion-dollar excess that feels almost mythical in contrast. Their collective wealth, estimated at over $5 billion, has been quietly built through a web of hidden assets, offshore accounts, and luxury imports that defy international sanctions. Yet this fortune isn't hoarded in vaults. It's worn, flown, and sailed across borders like symbols of untouchable power. At the heart of this opulence is a modified Soviet Il-62 jet known as Chum. Once a relic of Cold War aviation, it has been transformed into a flying palace. Its cabin gleams with gold-plated interiors, bulletproof windows, a custom bar imported from Italy, and an anti-missile defense system designed to outmaneuver potential attacks. Satellite footage suggests the aircraft costs more than $75 million, with maintenance alone exceeding millions per year. For Kim Jong-un, this isn't just transportation, it's airborne sovereignty, a mobile fortress allowing him and Ri Solju to travel in secrecy while evading international tracking systems. Their grandeur extends to the sea. The couple's 531-foot super yacht, valued at around $100 million, drifts along the Korean coast like a floating empire. On board lies a helipad, a jacuzzi surrounded by imported marble, and Italian leather lounges curated from the same artisans who furnish European royal yachts. The yacht reportedly carries advanced communications gear, making it as much a private negotiation chamber as a leisure vessel. From its decks, Kim can host foreign dignitaries or simply escape into the illusion of freedom, a rare commodity in a regime built on control. But the contrast could not be sharper. As Ri Solju sips imported wine on the yacht's terrace, ordinary North Koreans face chronic food shortages, ration cuts, and energy blackouts. Every ripple from the yacht's wake symbolizes the widening gulf between the regime's luxury and its people's suffering. Yet the spectacle serves a calculated purpose. It reinforces the myth of divine privilege, a narrative that power justifies indulgence. In North Korea, luxury is not leisure, it's a weapon. Each plane, each yacht, each gold-plated hallway exists to remind the world, and their own citizens, that the Kim dynasty floats far above consequence. And within that glittering isolation, Ri Solju's elegance becomes more than appearance, it becomes armor. Queen or captive, the dual reality of Ri Solju. Every time Ri Solju steps into public view, the world sees grace, calm, and perfection. Yet behind that flawless facade lies a far more fragile truth, a woman living inside a paradox of immense privilege and absolute captivity. Her silence is not emptiness, it is choreography. Every smile, every glance beside Kim Jong-un is rehearsed to project unity and control, a cinematic illusion designed to stabilize a dynasty built on fear. In Pyongyang's palace walls, freedom is a myth. Ri Solju's life is dictated by layers of authority, political aides, security chiefs, and image consultants, each one ensuring that the First Lady never strays from her assigned role. Even her wardrobe is coded, pastel tones and tailored silhouettes meant to soften the regime's image and contrast her husband's military severity. Every pearl necklace and Swiss luxury watch worth thousands of dollars becomes a tool of diplomacy, a quiet assertion that North Korea too can manufacture elegance amid global isolation. But luxury here is a double-edged sword. While she dines on imported delicacies inside marble halls, her movements are monitored, her words filtered through layers of censorship. Former intelligence sources claim that even her letters are reviewed before being sealed, and that her access to outside communication is limited to state-approved interactions. Her gilded palace, estimated to have cost over $200 million, is both fortress and prison, a place where power looks golden but feels suffocating. Publicly, Ri Solju appears as the epitome of composure, walking beside Kim at missile launches or diplomatic galas, symbolizing harmony within the ruling bloodline. Privately, rumors swirl of isolation, emotional distance, and constant observation by the regime's inner circle. She stands at the intersection of fear and fascination, a queen who cannot choose her crown and a captive who must wear it flawlessly. Yet perhaps that is her true genius. By mastering silence, she has learned to exist in a world where words can kill and appearances sustain empires. In North Korea, truth is engineered, and Ri Solju has become its most exquisite illusion. A woman who rules with elegance, endures with restraint, and reminds us that not every throne guarantees freedom. Comment your thoughts. Do you think she's a queen in control or the regime's most polished prisoner? Behind the smiles and designer gowns, Ri Solju remains one of the most enigmatic women on earth, living a life of unimaginable luxury wrapped in invisible chains. Her image is perfection, her silence is strategy, and every public appearance hides layers of control and calculation. She is both queen and captive, symbol and survivor. If you found her story as haunting as it is fascinating, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for part 2, where we uncover what truly happens inside the palace walls when the cameras disappear.